Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Madolche Yugioh deck profile for post Savage Strike and also the January 2019 ban list. With this deck, we actually had a lot change with it because the main focus for the Madolche deck, just to run with more synergy, was the Brilliant Engine, which after the latest ban list was put down to 1, which maybe consider just taking out the whole engine and running it more with other support to help assist with the Madolche plays. And we also received some new support in the Savage Strike booster pack in the form of, I think it's Petetting Sour. I can't remember the exact name or pronunciation off the top of my head. But either way, it's a really awesome deck. I've always loved Madolches, been a big fan of them ever since they came out in Return of the Duelist. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So to start off, run 3 Madolche Mageline. With Mageline, when this card you control is destroyed by your opponent's card effect, either by battle or card effect, and sent to your graveyard, shuffle this card into your deck. That effect is shared by all the Madolche monsters, and when this card is normal or flip summon, you can add 1 Madolche monster from your deck to your hand. So being able to search out whichever you need for your future plays definitely does help with Mageline for sure, just giving you hand consistency with those monsters to use later on for your plays. So definitely 3 of, because she's always nice to open up with. Also 3 Madolche Angeli. With this one, you can tribute this card to special summon 1 Madolche monster from your deck, but shuffle it into the deck during the end phase of your next turn. You can only use the effect of Angeli once per turn. That special summon monster cannot be destroyed by battle, but most of the time with Angeli, you will tribute her and then obviously make use of the Madolche monster before they are shuffled back into the deck. And the one that we go for most of the time is Hoot Cake, which we also run 3 of. With Hoot Cake, you can banish a monster in your graveyard, and if you do, special summon 1 Madolche monster from your deck, except for Madolche Hoot Cake. You can only use this effect of Hoot Cake once per turn, so you make full use of a bunch of different Madolche monsters that you can get out with this card. Most of the time, your target will be Gelato, just for the fact that you'll be able to get a spell and trap card search with Gelato after you use Hoot Cake's effect, because you have to have a beast monster on the field when you special summon Gelato. So very, very helpful there for sure. I also run 3 Madolche Yugioh. With this one, when it is normal summoned, you can special summon 1 Madolche monster from your hand. So you have hand field consistency. Being able to get 2 Madolches out can either help you go for your link play, or if you have the proper amount of monsters on the field, get out your Tiramisu for the special summon. So depending on which play you want to go for, Yugioh can also help with Gelato, since it's the beast requirement for the special summon with that one as well. And I run 3 of the new Madolche Petting Sesor, I think is how you pronounce her name. It has the same, destroy by an opponent's card and sent to your graveyard, shuffle this card into the deck. You can only use each of the following effects of Petting Sesor once per turn. If you have no monsters in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if this card is special summoned, you can special summon 1 Madolche monster from your hand or deck, except for Petting Sesor, or it's probably a play on the word petite. I know it's some pronunciation like that, but being able to special summon from the deck is just great consistency for sure, and then you reduce its level by 1. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except for Madolche monsters, but reducing the level means that big target would be Pudding Cess, because then with Petting Sesor, I can't wait to move on to the next card because that pronunciation is going to kill me. I actually even think they changed the name of the card, but either way, you'll have the 2 monsters on the field to go for the rank 4 play, which is very, very helpful for sure. And then you can even rank up with Chocolate a la Mode from your Tiramisu. So this card overall just really, really helped the deck out. Can't wait till we get the next Exceed monster. Also, all this new support for the Madolche is definitely going to be wonderful for the deck. And then for some of the smaller numbers, I run 2 Gelato. When this card is special summon, if you control a Madolche beast monster, you can add a Madolche Spiral Trap from your deck to your hand. So it's very easy just to search out your field spell, your ticket, or your Palooza, whichever you need for your plays with Gelato. I'd prefer not to draw those cards if I'm able to at least search them with this card. So very, very helpful in that sense for sure. And then for the one-ofs, I run 1 Madolche Pudding Cess. This one just helps for the special summon target off of Petting Scizor, or you can even go for her own effect, which is Destruction Power. Having no monsters in your graveyard also bumps up her attack, along with the field spell. It hits for a pretty good number for sure. And then also the fairy requirement for Chocolate Isle mode, which helps with her own effects also. So I like to run the one of for that reason. And I also run one Madolche Cruftsnot. The bounce effects that you can do with this card and your spell cards on the field can really help to trigger some of the other ones, or if you bounce other Madolche monsters, you can activate Ticket with this card. I like it for the one-of option. It's a level 3 that can adjust its level also with the bouncing, so you can go for whichever you need in that situation. And then lastly, for the monsters, I run 2 Effect Veiler. If you don't want to run Effect Veiler, you can also put in Ash Blossom, Ghost Ogre, you name it. Just a hand trap option really does help if you need that graveyard setup, if you open up Hoot Cake and you don't have any monsters in the graveyard to banish for its effect. So having these available just very, very helpful with that sense. And that is it for the monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. I run 2 Madolche Chateau. The field spell, only run 2. It's really all you need, and it's searchable with your Gelato. When it is activated, you shuffle all Madolche monsters into your graveyard and from the graveyard into the deck. And then all Madolche monsters on the field gain 500 attack and defense. If a monster in your graveyard would be returned to the deck by an effect of a Madolche monster, you can add it to your hand instead. So just that consistency for adding back the monsters to your hand just means you can continue to do your plays over and over again and not have to worry about them just shuffling back into the deck and having to redraw them. And I also run 1 Madolche ticket. 1 ticket's really all you need, with the fact that I said it is searchable. When a Madolche card is returned to your side of the field or graveyard, to your hand or main deck by a card effect, add 1 Madolche monster from your deck to your hand. So being able to search out whatever you need, especially if your graveyard's empty, and being able to add the new card, very, very helpful for sure. And without the Brilliant Engine, I'm testing out Double Summon again. I think I actually originally used to run this card in the deck just for that additional, summon. Can help you with a lot of your different plays. You may just be 1 card off, and it was the key, effect of your Brilliant Fusion Engine in the long run to begin with. Just that 1 card you have to draw into. Obviously, you might even consider a 3rd one, taking out one of our other spell options if I do decide to put in a 3rd one. Also, we're at the 1 Scapegoat now, so just helps for link plays with this card when you can successfully get it off, or even just defensive plays. 1 Upstart Goblin. If you want to try the 3rd Double Summon, you can take this out for it, but I'm comfortable with 2 at the moment with the new Madolche. It's not too much of an issue. I also run 2 Twin Twisters, being able to take care of your opponent's back row, and also being able to get monsters in the graveyard with the discard 2 use for the Hoot Cake are 2 bonuses in 1. And I also run 1 Monster Reborn. If there's nothing in my graveyard to go for, you always have your opponents for options on what you want to summon out. And I also run 2 Call by the Grave, just being able to stop your opponent's hand traps from stopping your own searches for ones like Mageline, Gelato, you name it. You really do need those plays to go off to be successful with a lot of what you want to do with the deck. And that is it for the spells. We'll now move on to the traps. 1 Madolche Palooza. This card is searchable. It special summons any number of Madolche monsters from your hand, but shuffle them into the deck during the end phase. The shuffle can really make use for some of your other effects, but that Field Swarm, when you have plenty of them in your hand, definitely does come in handy for sure. And then I also run 3 Solemn Strike, 1 Solemn Warning, and 1 Solemn Judgment. Just this, lineup with some of the other cards we're on the field really does make your opponent debate what they want to, destroy. If they want to take out the field spell, ticket, or, the back row, depending on, that. Even if these can be a distraction to protect your spell cards, I'd say it was successful in the end. And lastly, for the main deck, 1 Torrential Tribute. Just, an extra safety precaution against some of your opponent's cards, this destruction. Keeping it on the field with some of your other traps, and then just having the, spells face up as well. Just really, pressures your opponent in a lot of different ways that'll protect your own monsters as well. But that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra. I run 2 Madolche Queen, Tiramisu. This one is your main Exceed you go into. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Exceed material from this card, then target up to 2 Madolche cards in your graveyard, shuffle those cards into the deck, then shuffle cards your opponent controls into the deck up to the number of Madolche cards returned. It also says Madolche cards, you can even do the spell or traps or the monsters, depending on what you use. If you have a second Chateau in your hand, you can activate it, destroying the other one, giving you the requirements for Tiramisu, so very helpful there for sure. I also run the Chocolate Isle mode with the shuffle effect from the graveyard is shuffled into your main deck. Except during the damage step, you can detach one Exceed material from this card to special summon one Madolche monster from your deck in attack position or face down defense. You can also, like I said, rank up this using a Madolche Exceed if you have it, so very, very helpful when you can get that off. And I also run one Leviair. When you have your Link Arrows set up, just being able to go into Leviair with your level 3 monsters to get back the cards you banished with the Hoot Cake can be very helpful for sure. And then for some more generic support, I run one Exciton Knight, one Baguska, one Dark Rebellion, one number 39, the Lightning, to go with the Utopia. And then for the Link monsters, I run one Madolche Fresh Sistart. You need 2 Madolche monsters, so if the levels of 2 Madolches you have on the field are different, instead of overlaying them, you can obviously go into this card. It's more of a protection card for your Madolches, so you can rely on this just to protect them from being destroyed when you have her on the field. And I also run one Nightmare Phoenix, one Nightmare Cerberus, just for a little more extra destruction power with your Link monsters. One Mrs. Radiant goes really well with all the Earths that the Madolches are, and the Scapegoats we run in the deck to make this, powering them up. And then for a couple more bigger plays, one Topologic Bomber Dragon and one Borreload Dragon to finish off the extra deck. If you want to take out one of these for another Link 2 option, you can put in a second Mrs. Radiant. That goes very well with the Scapegoats that you run also. And that is it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Really going through all these decks for Savage Strike, having a lot of fun. And I hope you all enjoy them too. Until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Twig out.